To address the issues facing Tennesseans today, from 10 News, this is Inside Tennessee.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. Along with my colleague John North, I'm John Becker, your moderators for Inside Tennessee, and we welcome new leadership of two of the most powerful bodies in Knox County. Yes, they elected new leaders at the start of September, and they join us today. Richie Beeler is new commission chair for the Knox County Commission. The new chair of the school board is Kristi. Along with our guests, our panelists, Don Bosch, who runs his own law firm and is a Democrat. We're glad to have you, as well as Susan Richardson Williams, done with wedding planning. She runs her own PR firm and happens to be a Republican. Good to have all of you with us on this Sunday morning. Kristi, let's start with you. Welcome to the job. You need a new superintendent. Let's talk about the retirement of Bob Thomas, which is coming at the end of the next school year. Before we dig into the details of the process and how it will work, what are the top 3 qualities you want to see in the next superintendent?
All right. Well, first, I want to thank Bob Thomas, who has served the community for 49 years. I think he's starting his 49th. You know, and his commitment to the kids has been just amazing. As far as what I would like to see, a visionary, someone who's student focused, someone with excellent leadership skills, you know, and resilience. I mean, this is a marathon. It isn't a foot race.
And Chair Beeler, I just want to, you approve the school budget and obviously oversee that. You're in a leadership position. How about your qualities?
Oh, for a superintendent? I think someone who obviously has a good hold on curriculum, because that is the nature of the job, and one who can work well with the legislative body. And in the past, I think there has been some, this is not a reflection on Mr. Thomas. I mean, in previous administrations, there's been a difficulty in working with the county commission sometimes, and I would like to see a superintendent who can continue the good relationship that we have at the present time between the different bodies and schools and the county general government.
I have one more process question for Kristi, and then Susan, why don't you pick up? But let's dig into the process. You had a discussion with your fellow board members, Kristi, about how to go from here and how you bring in public input to the process. Explain for our viewers how this path will go and when we might see a new superintendent named. Okay,
so the board discussion last night was one of 2 routes, which we will vote on next week. We can put out an RFP, a request, you know, for a proposal for an outside firm to come in and help us find candidates. The other suggestion was that we use the Tennessee School Board Association, which is would save the taxpayers quite a bit of money probably. They already have a built-in superintendent search model. So that's what the board will be voting on next week. There is a desire there to have a lot of community input, and I do think we need a healthy amount of community input. And I'm hoping that we can partner with Knox Education Foundation to bring all of our stakeholders to the table just to see what everyone wants to see in the next superintendent.
And just if you were to say, this is when I want a new superintendent named, when would that be for you personally?
Well, definitely before the start of the next school year. I think that we need to have the next person in place and ready to hit the ground running. Just because we have struggled so much over the last 18 months with, you know, the pandemic. And I think it's important to have someone already in place by summer so they can get adjusted and we can just really start strong at the start of the new school year.
Susan?
So, Kristi, you will appoint the search committee, is that correct?
Yes, but the board will have to vote to approve that.
Okay. In the past, as Commissioner said, we've had some superintendents who worked from around here, and sometimes they get into a lot of trouble because they aren't from around here, maybe don't understand our culture. Do you have a preference on that? Would each of you, I would ask Commissioner and you, Kristi, would your preference be to find at least, if not local, at least a Tennessean or someone that understands the culture of our state and the education issues that we have in Tennessee?
Right. Well, obviously, I want the best candidate because our students deserve the best. We've been through a lot over the last 18 months. Do I think we have candidates here locally that would be really good at this job? Yes. I think there are candidates across Tennessee that would be really good. I can tell you from what I have heard so far from the public, it is that they want someone who knows Tennessee and knows Knox County.
Commissioner?
I would agree with that, especially, the best candidate's got to be the first consideration. But ideally, someone local would be amazing because, and really, to say Tennessee means a lot of different things, depending on what region of Tennessee you're talking about. East Tennessee, the Southern Appalachians, very unique culture. Knowing that culture gives any leader a huge leg up. And so ideally, I'd love to see it be someone local.
Don?
Do we have some internal candidates that you expect to see apply? Someone who's already working there, for instance?
I would expect Dr. Reiswick to apply. I haven't really had any discussions with anyone about that personally, so I don't know, but that would be who I would expect internally to apply. That would be, he comes naturally to mind. He has a strong background in curriculum and would check a lot of those boxes.
I don't want to jump in on Don's time, but John Reiswick has been sort of considered the in-house candidate in waiting by many, and it's just a matter of going ahead and making the decision, isn't it?
Well, I think for the board, there is no greater responsibility for a school board than choosing the leader of your schools.
Right.
This would be the legacy of this school board, would be choosing the next leader. So I think that we do have to go through a very healthy, transparent search process with a lot of community input. Do I think that Dr. Reiswick has the skill set that would make him be one of those top candidates? I think he does. But I still think that we have to, go through the process, get the community input and community feedback on who our candidates are.
We're going to take a quick break on Inside Tennessee. Don, we'll bring it back and go straight to you. We have a lot to get to. Baseball, redistricting, the growth plan, a lot to talk about with the new chair of commission. Stay with us on Inside Tennessee.